Video, I'm going to talk about how to install Bhamni version 0.82 on CentOS. If you wish to install Bhamni on CentOS, you can just Google for it, install Bhamni, and you should come across this page, install Bhamni on CentOS, which is the same page that I had opened up previously. Bhamni is currently supported on CentOS version 6.x. Mostly, we have done testing on version 6.7, but 6.8 also seems to be working fine. So currently, I'm going to be using version 6.7 box and install Bhamni on it. If you see this document, it talks about what you have to do to create a fresh on a fresh CentOS. These are the system requirements. So basically, you will need about 8 GB of RAM and about 500 GB at max of hard disk space. The install will itself take, I think, about 150 to 170 MB, but just for safety purposes and for general growth, 500 MB of disk space has been suggested here. So here is our CentOS box. Let's just look at its version. So this is a CentOS 6.7 release box. It's a minimal installation that I have access to it, and it doesn't have any Bhamni installed right now or Bhamni running on it. So to install Bhamni on a CentOS machine, you basically at a high level do two steps. Your first step is installing what is called the Bhamni installer. So you use the Bhamni installer RPM, install the Bhamni installer on your machine. With that, you will then have a command line client available to you called Bhamni. So we will install first the Bhamni command line client. After that, we will run the Bhamni command in the install mode so that it will install all the relevant packages for you. When you install using Bhamni command line, you basically set certain environment variables and certain configuration settings in a file to Bhamni installer, so that you can tell Bhamni installer, hey, I want you to run the install, but only install these pieces and set the following information, like maybe you want to change the credentials or maybe you want to change certain other settings. We'll have a look at a high level what all those settings are. So after you have set up your configuration, you will trigger the Bhamni installer. It will read your configuration file and install the appropriate components and set up Bhamni based on that. So going back to our command, yes, so let's first install the Bhamni installer. So I'm going to install version 0.82, which is currently the latest version for Bhamni. To install 0.82, we'll basically be using yum install, and we'll be pointing to the current latest version of Bhamni installer, which is 0.82-130. Here you go. I can actually see all these in my browser also. If I paste this in my browser and just remove the front part on the browser, I should be able to see all of these on my machine. Let's check them out. Why isn't Google letting me do this? Oh, that's because I didn't remove yum install from the front. So all the RPMs which are hosted here, different versions. So we are installing the Bhamni installer RPM 0.80. Okay. So let's paste this command that we copied onto the command line. Just clear the screen. Yes. If I just run this command like this, it will say you need to be root to perform this command. So one option is I can say sudo this, but right now I'm just going to shift myself to root. So now I'm the root user, as you can see from CentOS. I'll become the root user. Let's clear the screen and then run with root. So here's the first command. So it's going to install Bhamni installer package with the version that we specified 0.82-130. Yes. Okay, so now the installation is complete. Now that we have installed Bhamni installer, I'll clear the screen again and check if it's actually installed. So if I say Bhamni enter, yes, I see the help for the Bhamni command line. So it says Bhamni, which can take some options, then the command, and then command related arguments. So for instance, you have various options. We will be using the install option for the Bhamni command, which installs Bhamni components on respective hosts. And there are certain other ones too, like restart and start and stop, that actually works across all the services that will get installed for Bhamni. But right now we will only use a simple Bhamni install. Let's go back to the documentation. So it says yes, if you do Bhamni command you should see help, so we are good there now. Then it says that let's set up a configuration file. So what happens is, to run when you run Bhamni installer, it looks for this file called setup.yml, which is supposed to have certain settings that you can do. So let's look at what that will look like. I will first execute this command, which basically brings down this config file from tinycc default setup. It will download it from there and put it in etc Bhamni installer setup.yml. So the file has been downloaded. I'll just cat it to print the contents. So in etc Bhamni installer setup or YML. So if you see right now, it contains three variables. One is a time zone variable that is set by default to Asia and Kolkata. Then implementation name, which is set to default. We will let it be default for now. And SE Linux state. What is the SE Linux state that you want the machine to be? So all these variables can be seen here. This is the documentation which says which all variables can I use and set. So let's just open that up. So these are the various variables that you can do: the name of the variable, the value of the variable which is default and you can change, and then what does it do. So for instance, you can set the time zone. In your case, you may want to set to a different time zone. So let's see what are the list of available time zones. These are standard Java time zones, so you can choose any of these values based on what makes sense. Once you run Bhamni installer, it will actually change your machine's time zone based on the value that you have specified here. Okay. Uh, then implementation name. So Bhamni has this concept of implementations, which is basically your set of configuration. So let's say if I'm going to a hospital called JSS, I might have my own configuration files for Bhamni called JSS, in which case I will say implementation name is equal to JSS and provide that in a folder that will get picked up by the install, and you will get Bhamni set up with JSS configuration. Right now, since we don't have any specific configuration that we have created for ourselves, we will use the default configuration that Bhamni team provides that you can use as a demo. Then we can change it later. So implementation name is equal to default. That is what we have already specified here. You also have to note that this is a YML file format. Yeah, YML is nothing but a simple key and its value, except that you need to make sure you put a space after this. It's a standard YML. If you are not sure of whether your YML will be valid or not, you can use this online checker for YAML file, where you can paste your YAML file and it will tell you whether your YAML file is valid or invalid. So if I copy this for instance and I paste it here and I say go, it tells me it's valid. Whereas let's say I forgot to put something like a space and I say this, it will say hey, something is wrong on line number 3 column 14, right? So it's a simple key equal to value called a YAML file. So in our case, SE Linux by default is actually set to enforcing. Let us see what does my machine's current SE Linux look like. So SE status actually prints the current SE Linux status. It's already set to enforcing. So maybe what I'll do is I will not change it to disabled. I will leave it as enforcing, which is more strict. I'm using the VI editor. I'll go to SE Linux and I will change it to enforcing. Notice I have to put a space after this. Let's just cat the file once more. Okay, so SE Linux state has been given implementation name and time zone. Okay, now there are many other things that you can give, but they are all optional. You can leave them for the time being, but you can change, like for instance, if you want a different port to be used and so on. I would recommend, if this is your first time, leave most of them as default, try it out, and then once you're comfortable, then you can start changing things based on what makes sense. But one thing that you should definitely consider changing is the password hash for Bhamni support users. So when you install Bhamni, we create a default user on the machine called Bhamni underscore support, so that support team can basically SSH using this. So its default credential is password, which is definitely weak. It would be good if you change the default credential to something else. So if you want to change the default credential, just copy paste this command and paste it here onto your terminal. So here I've said, let's say I want to set my password to of Bhamni user to something else. Let's say I set the support password to Bhamni support user a password, something like that. And then the salt is just a random string that is given to create a stronger password. You can give anything in it, you can leave it as is, whatever you feel like, it doesn't matter. And then you press enter, and then an output string is generated. This full string that is returned by the program, this becomes your is what you have to enter in your configuration file. Again, this complete step is optional, but highly recommended. So I will again open in VI editor the config file for the installer, and I will make another entry. The entry this time will be Bhamni underscore password underscore hash colon, and then the whole string. That's done. Let's just cat it to confirm looks good. So we have set 4 values: time zone, implementation name default, SE Linux state as enforcing. If your SE Linux state by default is disabled and you set it to enforcing, then you will need to restart your machine once after you trigger Bhamni installer, and then after restart again trigger Bhamni installer as is. Um, Otherwise, you can set it, leave it as disabled for the time being, but change it to enforcing or permissive later. Alright, so now that we've set up the variables for our installer, we just need to go back and trigger the installer using Bhamni install command, and that's it. Oh, one more thing. So the question is, these are configurations. Besides that, what are the components that will get installed, right? So if I say cat slash etc slash Bhamni installer local, this is a second config file that the installer reads. So first one was setup.yml and second one is local. Local basically is saying, because we are using Ansible under the hood, this is basically an Ansible configuration file. Ansible allows you to run an installer and configure other machines which are with different IP addresses. Right now, we are not doing that. We are just using the installer to install on the machine itself. But you can use the installer to install Bhamni on other machines. So that's why it's saying the connection is local. I'm going to do it on my own machine. And then these are the various roles that have been defined by the Bhamni team. So like for instance, if you want to set up Nagios server, then you will write here Nagios server, also by default under it localhost. Right now nothing is written under Nagios server, so it will not get installed on any machine because you have not specified any machine for Nagios server. Nagios is basically a monitoring tool to monitor Bhamni. It's an open source software package. What localhost is mentioned under EMR, hence the EMR package will get installed on this machine. Similarly, EMR database will get installed on the machine. We are not setting up master slave replication right now for backups, but if you want to do that, then you will enter localhost here or the IP address of where the slave should be installed. Right now it is localhost is going to be installed for EMR, the ERP, and the lab and reports. So these are the things that will currently get installed. If I wanted to install any other component too, I will need to mention localhost or the appropriate IP address for each of those groups. Okay, so now that this part is clear, let's just run the installer. So to run the installer, you basically say Bhamni install and enter. What it will do, it will read that local file and the setup.yml and start installing. And it will use Ansible under the hoods to perform the configuration and setup on your machine. So let's press enter and see. So it's saying Ansible not found, so it will install Ansible too. Ansible has been written in Python and therefore depends on certain Python libraries, so Python also gets installed. If you see something in red like it went for me, see right under it, it says dot dot ignoring. If it says dot dot ignoring, then you know that it's okay and you can sort of ignore for the time being. There are certain commands which are used to check, like for instance, does MySQL already exist? If it already exists, then it won't install that version. So those kinds of things may show up in red where it is checking for something. And but if it shows a dot dot ignoring at the end of that task, then you need not worry about it. So it will now start executing, like I said, Ansible playbooks to get your machine set up. This whole process could take about 15 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on the speed of your internet connection, because it's downloading certain packages and installing them on the machine, on your CentOS machine. I will let this run, and for interest of time on the video, let's just shift over to another machine that I've set up where this task has just finished. So I'll shift over to this machine. So this is how it looks at the end eventually. All of these tasks come here: ensure this, read IB table rules, and Nagios it gets skipped, so on, and then in the end it finishes. So this is how it looks after it's over. So this is the Bhamni installer has been installed. Now to see which all, I'll just clear the screen. To see which all uh, RPMs or packages got installed, you can just do yum list installed grep bhamni. So as you can see here, when I do yum list installed pipe with grep bhamni, the bhamni search, bhamni EMR, ERP, bhamni installer was already installed first. Lab, OpenMRS reports, web has gotten installed, and these are the various versions of the packages. So this is how you can see which versions installed on your machine. And if you feel like, hey, this is the wrong one, you can remove using yum remove. For instance, I can say yum remove and then any of the packages bhamni mr and press enter, and that package will be removed. I can reinstall again after that by saying bhamni install. Bhamni install you can run as many times as you feel like. When you run bhamni install, it will check whether a package is already installed. If it is, it doesn't do anything. If it finds something is not right or if it's not installed, it will go ahead and fix that and install for you. So you can easily do a yum remove of two of these components: yum remove say bhamni mr, yum remove bhamni lab, and then say bhamni install, and it will reinstall those two by looking at its config file setup.yml and local. Okay, so now that we know that it is installed, let's just do ps minus ef grep bhamni to see what does it say. So some processes are already running, Java processes, and therefore by default when you install bhamni lab, openmrs, all of these processes are also running on your machine. Let's go back. So looks like we have installed it. Now the aim would be to try and access the various applications on the screen. So what you can do is, let's go back to the browser. Let's paste the approach. Okay, this is the IP address I should have been copying and using. Let's use that instead. And for ERP, it will be this with 8069, not with HTTPS, it will be just HTTP. So this is the lab screen, this is the ERP login screen, and this is the login screen for the EMR application. coming up. It's a little slow, my network. The boxes are in US and I'm accessing them from India, so it's a little slow. It's logging meanwhile into lab, admin, admin, um, admin. Gosh. And this guy is admin and password. So this is the ERP screen. The patients are registered as customers automatically. This is the lab screen. It's loading, and this is the AMR screen. And then you can go into each one of them and you can see individual demos on the YouTube channel for Bhamni. Okay, so while these three screens are loading, let's go back to our install documentation. So now that you have these apps that are up and running, if I want to list all services, then I can say, okay, let's have a look at all the services that are running on this machine. If you want to see just Bhamni, so then you do this with grep Bhamni. Yeah, we connect lab reports, and so is OpenMRS running. Also, to check the status of any service, I can say sudo service name and status. So something like this, it will say it is running. And then if I want to stop a service, I can say stop, or I can say start, or I can say restart. And the various services are mentioned here, like for instance, to start various database services, Bhamni services, you can use these commands. Similarly, the same thing with stop will stop them. Let's look at the file system. So after everything is installed, I go to cd/opt. This is where all the applications are installed. So as you remember, we saw the RPM names. Each of them are mapping to an RPM mostly. So you have Bhamni ERP folder, Bhamni ERP Connect, Bhamni Lab, Bhamni EMR, and OpenMRS. So I go to OpenMRS. Here you will see there is a log folder and there is a modules folder. So modules folder is where all the modules are, which include OpenMRS modules and Bhamni modules. So all of these are the various modules being used in version 0.82. So we've seen this. Also, the EMR is web app is running in Apache HTTPD. So Apache HTTPD home is cd/where/www. So here if you see Bhamni config, this is where all the configuration for the default config is that we discussed earlier. This will most likely point to a different config if you are running a different set of config files to change the look and feel of the UI. And this is the UI code. So Bhamni apps is the code and Bhamni config is the config. They're all pointing to their individual Bhamni web sort of folders. Similarly, these are the various locations for the other one. If you want to see any logs, then it will be in cd/where/log, and then these are where all the log files are. So if I want to see OpenMRS logs, here it's anyways pointing to OPT OpenMRS log. So cd/opt/OpenMRS log, here cat or tail, depending on which one makes sense. These are the logs. Okay, so what all did we do? We installed Bhamni, we set up the config files, then we ran Bhamni installer, checked the list of packages installed, then we accessed the applications which are visible here, like for instance here, patients, and then similarly here's the lab information system, and here's the ERP system. Patient registration screen. You can change this whole screen later. Lab and ERP. The last thing I wanted to mention as part of installation is how to secure and protect the Bhamni server. One thing that's very important is that because a lot of various applications are running on your server now, including database applications, certain ports are open. But we don't really need people from outside the server to be able to access anything besides Bhamni web apps and the lab or at max ERP server. So we should lock down all other ports on the machine besides the one we want to access. So to do that, what you can do is you can refer to this document and this script. If you see the script, it basically tells you what to do. It uses the IP tables of CentOS, and it clears all the rules, and after that it enables SSH access because you want to be able to remotely maybe SSH to this box. It opens port HTTP, HTTPS and ERP so that you can access it from outside. Then by default it marks everything to be dropped, which means no other traffic should be allowed, and then it saves it permanently to the disk, so that in the end it should look like this, where by default the policy is drop all traffic but only allow 22 SSH 80 443 and 8069. So all you got to do is run this script, set up Bhamni firewall, or you can just copy paste this whole script like this itself, and you can paste this here on your machine and just run, and that's it. After this, if you say IP tables minus L to see the IP tables, you will see that the policies have been correctly set. So that's it for installing Bhamni. So basically at a high level a three-step process, uh, and what we did was we installed Bhamni version 0.82 with the appropriate RPMs using Bhamni installer command. After this, once you've set it up, most likely then you can browse the guides on the left. You can jump maybe to the implementers guide, and in the implementers guide you can start reading about how do you configure Bhamni, how do you change files. Most of the configuration will happen either at the OpenMRS end, or it will happen in the files which are in where www bhamni config, in this OpenMRS folder is where most of the configuration files for various screens resides. Thank you.